Hey Reddit. People who were mentioned in someone's suicide note. What's your story? Subscribe to support the channel. And share a dark story in the comments. He sent me a separate note the day before he did it. Thanks for existing. I love you. I just answered with love you too. Bud. I had no idea. Damn. That's painful. My partner took her own life last year. I had become a carer due to her poor and declining health, and she was despondent. Going from a life as an active working professional to being stuck at home with her mind and body letting her down. Her note was addressed to me and me alone. She texted her father. In many ways it was beautifully worded. She expressed her eternal love for me and recognition of mine for her, which gave me comfort that she did not die feeling unloved. She stated that she, and I, had done our best and fought so hard for so long, but she couldn't go on. Thank you for everything you did. There is nothing more you could have done. She said lovely things about me and ended with love for eternity, which I hang on to on my dark days as belief that we will meet again and her spirit lives on. I know I couldn't do more. But she was only 38 and fought so hard for years as her body failed from combined autoimmune illnesses. Nothing that would kill her itself, even crueler in a way, it just robbed her of life bit by bit. I'm so sorry. But I am glad you got to feel her love. Beautiful. Please accept my condolences. I am writing for an opposite reason. It's in question whether my son intended to drive into a tree and kill himself or if it were an accident. I know for certain he did not intend the accident. Why? Because I know. He would have left me a note. You were given a beautiful gift. A gift that comes with some closure. In a way most can't understand. I envy you. He wanted me to know he loved me. That it wasn't my fault. That I was the best friend anyone could want or have. That I should have his car. That he thought he was going mad and was saving his brother and me from the madness. I showed the note to my therapist. She thinks he had schizophrenia. His mom did. It's been 6 years. I'm still not over his death. Doubt I ever will be. Schizophrenia is a horrific and depressing disease. My aunt has it. She's now 40 and lives in a trailer in my grandparents' front yard. When I was a little kid she was normal as can be. Used to be a male lady and had a fiancé. That person doesn't exist anymore. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, you don't get over death of close ones. You just accept it, in time. I was a teenager and a close friend killed herself. She wanted me to have her music collection, leather jacket, and a screenplay she wrote. What is the screenplay about? When my mom attempted suicide I was in her note. She just wanted me to know that it wasn't my fault and that she loves me no matter what. I found my mum when she attempted. Thought she was just asleep and found the note. Luckily at the same time my nan ran through the front door and sorted everything out. So sorry you had to go through something so painful. That sucks. My mom committed suicide after finding out that her tumor was malignant. She had just lost her father a year before and her mother died in treatment for cancer. She laid everything out, notes to specific people and how she wanted things done. I have always been an old soul and she planned for me to find her as I would be the reasonable person I am. But that day I was invited to try out for the debate team so I came home late, and my little sister was the one who found her. I'm so sorry. I hope both you and your sister have gotten some help and are doing better now. I had lived with Craig for about 8 months before he killed himself. I'd known him for 4 years before that. We met at a metal gig and he was a short, thin guy who almost got trampled in a mosh pit. We knew he was going a bad way as soon as he started hanging out with the group we all knew did heroin and similar regularly, maybe 2 months after we started living together. I tried to help him as much as I could. There were so many nights when he got back, clearly out of his mind on whatever it was he'd been doing, and he'd stay on the couch in my room instead of going to his own. He didn't like to be alone. I spent a lot of mornings cooking for him and generally making sure he was okay. But it was like shoveling snow in a blizzard. He'd just go do the same the next night. At the end of that 8 months we found him in his room having overdosed. We realized it was intentional when we read his note. A lot of it was about his family problems, his mental health, and just generally how terrible he thought the world was. Then near the end was a little paragraph about me, thanking me but saying I made the decision to end his life more complicated. He asked me not to blame myself. He then rambled some more and it was clear he'd been high whilst writing it. I moved out a month later. I'm sorry for your loss. It sounds like you were a wonderful friend to him. Having gone through this myself and lost many friends at this point and talked many more down, the metaphor of shoveling snow in a blizzard made me cry. That's exactly what loving someone who is deeply suicidal or stuck in their own self-destruction feels like. And I understand why people give up on shoveling. Or get tired, and just stand there in the snow. Thank you for shoveling. He just got back from Iraq, Marine. He called me up. I wasn't very close to him but we both served. Michael. We talked for about 2 weeks before it happened. He talked about how much he loved his mom. His brothers in the service. I thought everything was normal, that shiz we all talk about after coming home. He shot himself over the phone. I still can't get the sound out of my head. Navy took 2 weeks to send a chaplain. Then NCIS was involved. When I returned home I found out that he had left a ruck for me. He left a rucksack for me and I couldn't do anything for him. He gave it to his parents and had asked them to give it to me. Once did many military funerals. I was asked to help out on one but it was a shizzy time, Saturday. Early morning. I praised the memory of a young father. I presented the flag to his 5-year-old daughter. Her mom died of cancer a few months ago. That was the hardest moment of my life. I had to look a little girl in the eyes. No tears. And give her her father's flag. That's what broke me. Dude. I am sorry. Please don't stay broken. Get help from a professional. I take it you're active duty or a vet? I'm a vet. Not many people understand what it's like to be retired for 4 years but still keep a service dress uniform ready to go just in case you need to wear it at a friend's military funeral. Crest. Ribbons mounted. Living with a thought buried in your brain that there is a chance you might be hammering a set of wings into a buddy's coffin one day. Don't walk that walk alone. Hit me up if you wanna talk. My girlfriend killed herself a little over a year ago. We were fighting and I was planning to leave her. She sent me a message that she hoped her death weighed heavy on me for a long time while I was sleeping. She was dead in the bed next to me when I woke up. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I hope you're finding healing. I don't like to speak ill of the dead but I just can't comprehend how somebody could be so barbaric. Sending you peace, love and light. When my stepdad, and the father of my 3 younger brothers, killed himself last month. He didn't leave a note. What he did do I didn't even know that was possible was queue up 3 texts. So they wouldn't be received until the morning after. At exactly 8 a.m. All 3 of my brothers received a text from him. To my 2 oldest brothers 19 and 17, I love you forever. I'm sorry. I just can't live with this any longer. To my youngest brother 13, you are a very special boy and I'll love you forever XX. I asked my youngest brother if it had made it better or worse. He said worse. Do you know what he was referring to when he said, I just can't live with this any longer? My boyfriend blamed me in his note and professed his love for someone else while condemning me. So sorry. Jesus Christ, that's a low blow. Not only does he blame you, he then says he loves someone else. That's messed up. Removed. I am so sorry to hear about your loss. Can't even imagine how hard it is for you. I feel so much love reading this post and I am hoping this love will help your pain fade in the future. Wishing you all the best and sending you virtual hugs. Stay strong, bud. Apparently they owed me $5. I didn't even realize. This is what's so horrible about mental illness. You can turn something like owing someone a $5 into a rationalization for being a bad person who deserves to die. Okay, but did you get the money though? No note. Just a phone call to preteen me that had stayed up too late because my single-parent mother had gone out looking to score whatever pills would sate her addiction. Kid me had no idea. Adult me now knows it was obvious. I don't remember the call completely. But I do remember being annoyed she kicked me off the dial-up by calling in. She said and made me promise a bunch of things that felt very serious but also very confusing, and then we hung up. Police officer knocked on the door a few hours later and everything changed. No one but me knows about that phone call. Especially not my brother. I'll be the exact same age she was. Down to the hour. In roughly 500 days. I keep a countdown timer on my phone. One of the promises she made me make was to live longer than she did. I'm so sorry. Used to know this woman, whose ex-husband killed himself and used his suicide note to tell his children 6 and 8 that their mummy killed him, and not only was it her fault, but theirs too. And the police dealing with it had to be physically stopped by the mother from reading it to her damn kids. One of the more fricked up stories from where I live. The police had to be stopped, or the mother had to be stopped from reading it to the children. Where do you live? Dante's Ninth Circle of Hell? Not really a suicide one, but a end-od life goodbye one. He was sick and almost got through it. But at the end, with weak immune system. Cold was enough to get inflammations on everything. He was almost 18. Till this day the perfect person for me. And most important of all, the only real rock I had, who was there from the moment we first met. He wanted to make me laugh. He always did that. Made a few jokes. Terrible ones. Dad ones. Still made me laugh. And made the pain more durable. I miss those lame jokes. Sorry to hear of such a close loss. May the spirit of his jokes echo from those you now jest with too. Question to those who have been told, "I love you. It's not your fault," in someone else's note. Did that help, or did it make you feel more guilty? Word for word. That was the last thing she said to me over the phone. I just kept repeating, "Where are you? Please. Please tell me where you are." I just wish I had said something different. Maybe I could have told her something to change her mind. Asked her to think about the kids we were going to have. The life we could live together. But all I did was ask where she was. I was the last person she spoke to. And I didn't tell her how much I loved her. Kinda worse. To be called out for how you made someone feel good in a time of feeling nothing but bad is saddening. Makes you feel like you could have done more. Or it did for me. Deleted. I'm sorry you had to go through all that. I'm glad you are better though, but just know you are a great person. You're strong and everything will be okay. Less than 3. From what I understand, the adoption process is long and not easy. If the adoptive family didn't want you, why bother with the process at all? Sucks about how they treated you though. Glad to hear you are doing better. I was thanked in my friend's suicide note. I was with him the night he passed. I didn't know he was going to do it. He just said he was upset and wanted to meet up for a smoke and a chat. I believe I was the last person to see him alive. It really hit me hard when I found out he had passed. That's really rough, but it sounds like he really loved and cared about you. Red heart.